and we're really a team of three. I really want to have a collaborative leadership style. Um, I don't want to be the boss and they're the coaches and they report to me, and that's it. I want to be a team that collaborates together, um, with the goal of doing what's best for children in social studies in the district. That's how I want to kind of approach the management of what we'll have to do. I know sometimes you have to be a little bit more autocratic in your leadership style, particularly if the team is bigger or there has to be, the buck stops here. And I don't know if that's how they function. So I need to learn about how they function too, which I really won't until I meet with my supervisor and she kind of gives me that idea. I don't know how much autonomy I have.
So the options so far are you can have a collaborative leadership style where you work with the team. Are there any other options that you see?
That are good ones?
Good, bad, ugly.
I mean, I could go in and say I'm in charge, and we're going to do what I want, and we're going to do it my way. And I understand you've been doing it your way. You haven't really had a supervisor. My understanding, they haven't really had a supervisor for a while. The person who preceded me had some health issues, was there and then was gone, and then thought that you were coming back, and then they never did. They haven't had a supervisor in a while. And so I think they've probably been doing the best they can and doing what they want as they feel is necessary. And so probably a lot of the choices that they've been making are good ones, but I don't know. And so I could go in and just say, we're going to do it the way I think you should do it, and that's all. I don't want to do that because I don't think that will lead to success. It definitely won't lead to collaboration. And if I don't understand their jobs, I won't be able to do my own job.
Okay, so it sounds like there are options. The collaborative leadership is an option, which is team, is what you said. And then the other option is you go in like a dictator and say, this is how we're going to do it. I know that you all did it this way, but this is my way, and this is how we're going to do it.
Yeah.
But you feel like that's not an option because that won't build what you're trying to build, which is a collaborative team. So what are you going to start? Let's talk about our way forward, and what are you going to do as a result? What is your action plan? Because you said that the collaborative leadership style is what you want to do. So how are you going to do that? What are your steps that you're going to take? So we're going to talk about action steps now. What are you going to do to be that collaborative leader?
So I think the first thing is I need to go in and spend a lot of my first week kind of listening and asking questions, and kind of finding out what they've been doing, what they see their job as, who they trust to help them do things, because I think that will tell me a lot about who they are. And if they tell me they don't trust any of the other program managers to help them, I mean, that's important to know. I want to find out how they like to be communicated with. I think that's important. Some people love getting texts and they don't, that's what their preference is. That is not my preference. I do not like email. I would much prefer to pick up the phone and call.
Yeah, I noticed that when you told me call you, and I text you, but you did text back.
Yeah, I mean, and I will text back. I see the value in that, but I am a little old-fashioned. I think sometimes it's hard to get intent and context from texts and from email. And so sometimes you get email and you think people are angry, or you think people feel a certain way, and in fact that's not what they felt like at all. Or you think that people are fine with something and they're really not. but the language they use in terms of words doesn't convey.
Right.
So I feel like I prefer phone conversations or face-to-face interaction, but that's not the world we live in either. So people text, people send
Right.
email.
Well, it's good to let the people know too that this is the way you would like to communicate with them also. So who's going to help you with this, or do you feel like you're just going to go about it on your own?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm hoping that my new supervisor will give me some suggestions. I have talked to a couple of people, one in particular who used to work for Guilford County, and then she worked as a program manager in Winston-Salem, and now she works in a different county, just for some kind of ideas and advice about how the district works. And so she made some suggestions of people who she really trusted while she was there, who were good colleagues. And one of the people she suggested was the program manager for social studies when she was there. And so he's still there. He's in a different position, but she suggested I talk with him. So I will talk, I will make an appointment to talk with him in terms of finding out the history of what's gone on.
How long do you think that's going to take for you?
That conversation.
Or just the acclimation to a new district or new county?
I hope it doesn't take very long.
Because you've been in Guilford County for
20 years.
Yes.
So I think it's going to take me a little while. But the learning curve is kind of steep because, things keep moving. Stuff.
Yeah.
August 1st, all of a sudden, the ball starts rolling really fast.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do it as quickly as I can.
And how are we going to make sure that you do this?
Well, probably I should write it down. If I have it to look at and to remind me of what my goals are, that would be good.
And on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you of achieving this?
Like a 7 or an 8.
That's pretty high.
And I feel like I have to, because there's a lot riding on, not necessarily for me necessarily, but I feel like if I can be a successful leader and we can work collaboratively, then social studies is one of those subjects that's kind of like the red-headed stepchild.
Yeah.
And so I feel like we need to make sure our kids are getting social studies like they need to. And so if we can work collaboratively as a successful team, then we can make sure that social studies instruction in the district is benefiting all children or every child. And so the stakes for all of us in all subjects are high, but I feel like social studies is one that we have to prove ourselves constantly. And I think there are other subjects that feel that way too, but I'm not responsible for those.
Right. Well, you got a good passion for social studies and for teaching and for learning and the collaboration. I think you'll do fine with that. So let's maybe come back in a couple of weeks and just see how you're doing and kind of talk it out and make sure that you have committed to this goal and just see